Now, before we get to the language of empathy, I need to cover the two most common mistakes in the language of emotional intelligence. The first one, interestingly, is a mistake that's made more frequently in English than most other world languages. If you look up the French word for to feel, which is sentir, in a French thesaurus, you will not find the French word for think, penser. So the challenge, the biggest mistake that we make in English is often when we talk about our feelings, we're actually talking about our thoughts. So here's how it breaks down. When I say, I feel that, I'm sharing a thought. If I say, I feel like, I'm sharing a thought. I feel that you were late on this project. I think that you were late on this project. I feel like you could have done a better job. I think you could have done a better job. So here's the antidote. When you use the word I feel, the next word is an emotion word. I feel sad. I feel hurt. I feel afraid. That will help you avoid the first, most common mistake in communicating with emotional intelligence. The number one secret to employee engagement is this: build better bosses. And what's the most practical, results-oriented way to build better bosses? Is upgrade their language of leadership. Now, the second principle we adapted from something Richard Branson told me on a street corner in Hong Kong. I walked up to him. I said, Richard, I just flew Virgin Atlantic for the first time here from London, and I read your autobiography. And I said, what's your best piece of leadership advice? And he said immediately, Krister, customers don't come first. Employees come first. Take care of your employees, and they will take care of your customers. Well, that alone is pretty good employee engagement advice. But we adapted it a little bit to make it specific to employee engagement. Employee engagement doesn't come first. Leader engagement comes first. Engage your leaders, and your leaders will engage your employees. As a leader, identify the top 20% leaders in your organization, not just the formal leaders who hold leadership titles and positions, but the informal leaders, the opinion leaders who really move things at the ground level in your organization. Sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with them, talking about those questions of employee engagement. What can you start doing? What can you stop doing? And give them each an opportunity to answer what they think can be improved in the organization. Now, if you have 100 or more people in your organization, just pick the top 20 most critical people in your entire organization at any level, and this will be one of the highest ROI 20-hour time investments you will ever make. Because great leaders don't let great people leave. Great leaders don't stop their best people from leaving, they stop their best people from looking. I'd like to share with you an inspiring French phrase that carried me on my darkest days. Bon courage. It rhymes with another phrase you probably know, bon voyage. The inspiration in this phrase, bon courage, is a little bit one of those lost in translation phrases. If you Google bon courage, the translation of bon courage, it'll come up and it'll say good luck. But that's actually not even the start of it. You see, there's another French phrase called bonne chance that also means good luck. Now, when the difference between success or failure is primarily due to luck, then the phrase bonne chance applies. You may tell your friend who's going to the casino, bonne chance, but you won't hear bon courage at the casino. You'll hear bon courage on the mountaintops of the French Alps during the Tour de France, And as cyclists climb 12,000-foot mountains, French spectators scream, bon courage, as they climb up the mountains. Because bon courage applies when the difference between success or failure is primarily due to someone's strength. If there is some obstacle, some ordeal, some mountain on your path to success, the phrase bon courage applies. As you embark upon your journey to the language of leadership, please remember the echoes of leadership. As leaders, our words echo off the walls and down the halls into the homes of the people in our care. The words our leaders speak to us echo in the minds of our people and our children for years to come. I asked my French teacher, Jean-Luc, once, how do you know when you're fluent in a new language? And he laughed, and he looked at me and he said, well, Krister, when you dream in that language. Most journeys begin with a dream. Your journey to the language of leadership will end with one. Bon voyage, my friends, and bon courage. Bon courage.